As I promised you to make a project with each of the leopard skin effects I showed you in the tutorial, and the link is in the video description and in the card, let's start with the one I did with all reds and pinks. First, you will need some scrap clay and make two sausages that would be about 1.5 inches in length and about 1/3, 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch in diameter. And then wrap them in the veneer. And of course, you can make this type of earrings with any other kind of veneer. Wrap your little sausages in the veneer with a lot of care not to trap air inside, and make sure that the ends are nicely covered with the veneer as well. Then use your acrylic block to make everything nice and even. And then what you need to do is to taper the ends, and you have to taper them pretty nicely. You can start the tapering with your fingers, but then use your acrylic by simply holding it at an angle against your tile or working table, working surface, until you get something that looks pretty much like a torpedo bead, but a little bit not so thin at the ends. You want your ends to be about 3 millimeters in diameter, so something in between 1/8 and 1/4, so like 3/8 of an inch. And then all you have to do is simply to curve these into a more or less semicircle, horseshoe shape, however you want to call it. Just make sure that they are curved the same. You can use a little round cutter or a teardrop cutter to make sure that they both have the same shape. Once that is done, we need to place bales at each of the ends. So for this, I'm going to use my hand drill, and I am going to poke holes in which I'm going to place little eye pin screws that will be as bales, but what I do more is to actually place some bead caps there as well, and you'll see how in a minute. So use increasing drill bits until the hole matches the thread part of the eye screw. Then take some glue. Here I'm using the 2 parts epoxy Loctite. Place a little bit of glue on that end, and then put the eye pin through the bead cap. You will need one that's a little bit conical, and then simply screw it in place. And do that for both ends on both earrings. You can see it's not very difficult. I mean, if I can do it with my hands, I'm sure that you can do it too. And if you find it hard to hold on that little eye screw, just use a pair of pliers, of jewelry pliers. And now it's time to put the earrings together. First, you'll need some nice and relatively fine chain, and depending on what colors you used for the eye pins and for the bead caps, that's how you choose your chain. Count the way that I do it to make sure that everything is neat and in place and even and symmetrical. I count the links on the chain and make sure that you have an odd number of links. If you counted with me, you'll see that I counted actually 11. And then I'm going to count a little bit shorter snaps of chain. I counted 7 links, and those will go with beads. And you'll see in a minute how everything is going to get put together. Very easy, very simple, and it's fairly beginner level. So first I'm going to take a pin, and I'm going to put it through a bead that is matching the color of my veneer. And then I will make a simple wrapped loop with which I will attach one of the ends of the smaller chains, the ones where I cut only 7 links. Loop it about a couple times and then cut away the excess wire. Make sure that you don't have any end there that might scratch. Then take a double coil jump ring and put one double coil jump ring on each of the 2 eye pins and connect the ends of the longer pieces of chain, the ones where I counted 11 links. But of course, it depends on what type of chain you have. That's how you count the length of the piece of chain. And the longer the chain you're using, the more shoulder skimmers your earrings will be. I'm not going to make these ones very, very long. Once you've done that, get another double coil jump ring and place it exactly in the middle of that chain. That's why I told you you need an odd number of links so you can have a middle. And then on this double coil jump ring, also connect the other end of that shorter chain that you connected the bead to. Now here you might have a little bit of problems to catch that little link because it doesn't want to get caught. Come on. There we go. And then also connect the ear wire in the same double coil jump ring. And that's it. That's all you need to do to get these nice looking earrings. Well, of course, it's not entirely everything you need to do, because I honestly prefer them a little bit shinier than this. So once everything is said and done, I'm going to varnish them with some glossy varnish. In my case, it is some homemade shellac varnish, and I'm going to post a link in the video description on my tutorial on how you can make your own shellac varnish, which is one of the glossiest varnishes on earth. Then you need to let them dry on one side so you can turn them on the other side and varnish the other side as well. And once you do that and you let them dry, you are pretty much done. And as I said, you can do this type of earrings with any kind of veneer you want, even with imitation gemstone, with all kinds of veneers, even canes. So I hope you'll enjoy making your own earrings and look forward for the other 2 projects with the other 2 examples of leopard skin effect. Happy claying!